Damian Lillard, superstar, floor general, and in my opinion, the best point guard in the NBA bubble. But the biggest question surrounding Damian Lillard is, can he lead the Portland Trailblazers to the 2020 NBA playoffs? Calling out all Trailblazers fans out there, if this video can get to 100 likes in the first 24 hours, we're going to be giving some good luck to the Portland Trailblazers that they will make the NBA playoffs. As I make this video, the Portland Trailblazers are 9th in the Western Conference with the record of 32-38, 0.5 games behind the Memphis Grizzlies, who are the 8th seed with the record of 32-37. Damian Lillard just had an amazing game against the Denver Nuggets, scoring 45 points, 12 assists, 3 steals, and 11 3-pointers made that game, and because of that, I had to make this video. Right now, the Portland Trailblazers have a lot of attention because they're one of the hottest teams in the NBA bubble. With their record of 3-1 in the NBA bubble, they're known right now to be one of the better teams that are playing well in the bubble. And I believe 100% that a big reason to this is because they have such a big goal. That goal is that with this roster, they want to make the playoffs after an underwhelming season. If you guys are unaware about the Portland Trailblazers situation, last year they were in the conference finals with Damian Lillard and McCollum losing to the Golden State Warriors. So a lot of people out there are probably wondering why a conference finals team who still have their all-stars are literally fighting for a playoff spot. And the truth to that question is to the fact that they were unhealthy. Last year during the regular season, they lost Jusuf Nurkic due to a big leg injury, and this year during the beginning of the season, they lost Rodney Hood and lost Zach Collins. Losing 2 starters at the beginning of the season was definitely a big factor to why the Portland Trailblazers were literally fighting for a playoff spot. Having to adjust to new players on the roster like Kent Bazemore, like Hassan Whiteside, of course their productivity and success is not going to be at the highest level because you have to slowly get into it and get used to it. But the past is the past, and I'm telling you guys right now that the truth is the Portland Trailblazers are healthy. And I believe with this truth, the Portland Trailblazers' future that is coming up is surely bright. And in this video, we're going to be talking about everything about the Portland Trailblazers and Damian Lillard. But before I get into the video, I just want to say if you're new to the channel and love basketball, welcome to ezBUCKETz guys. My name is Soom and I make basketball videos on a daily and consistent basis. So be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications to not miss any of my upcoming videos. We are currently on the road to 40,000 subscribers, guys, and I'm telling you right now, I appreciate the support. All you OG guys out there who have been with me since the very beginning at 100 subscribers, guys. I appreciate all the love, all the comments, all the likes. I'm telling you right now, the videos ain't stopping anytime soon. So without wasting any more time, we're going straight into the Portland Trailblazers. Right now, when I think about the Portland Trailblazers, one thing that comes to my mind is that when looking at their roster on paper, their team is pretty stacked. Having big names like Damian Lillard, McCollum, a healthy Jusuf Nurkic who is locked in and ready to be productive for the team to make the playoffs, Hassan Whiteside who could be a starting center at any roster in the NBA, Gary Trent who's stepping up, NBA veteran and Hall of Famer Carmelo Anthony, this team is stacked on paper. And now with this team being fully healthy, we can finally see what they can do. But I can't make a video about the Portland Trailblazers without talking about the first guy on the roster, their captain, Damian Lillard. When talking about Damian Lillard's season as an individual, he has had one of the best seasons of his career. Averaging 29.1 points, 4.4 rebounds, and 8 assists per game, Damian Lillard is doing whatever he can to carry the load on his shoulders to help the Blazers be as successful as they can. Damian Lillard is one of the rare point guards in the NBA that you can rely on a team to give the ball in his hands on closing situations and have a clutch factor. He is personally my favorite NBA player out of every NBA player, and I'm always going to be rooting for Damian Lillard to bring the Blazers to the best possible scenario and situation for that team. And from what I've seen so far in this NBA bubble, Damian Lillard is locked in. We've seen it multiple times in the offseason how he said that he's working out and is ready to make a big push for the playoffs. And so far, we're seeing that. When talking about CJ McCollum, I'll be honest guys, CJ McCollum is a good second player on any NBA roster, but the point is, he's pretty streaky in my opinion. In one game, he can be really efficient and drop 30 points, but the next game be really bad at shooting, have a bad field goal percentage, and score less than 15 points. The problem with the Portland Trailblazers is that CJ McCollum has a similar playing style to Damien. That's why sometimes CJ McCollum will not get as many touches as he would want, because Damian Lillard is the guy on that roster, so that's why CJ McCollum might not be as consistent as usual. But when CJ McCollum is hitting his floaters, hitting his shots, the Blazers are definitely winning games. When talking about Jusuf Nurkic, guys, listen to me. His impact is phenomenal and literally affects this Trailblazers team and puts them on another level. If I want to compare Jusuf Nurkic to someone in the NBA that you guys can literally understand what I'm trying to say, I would say he is a mini Nikola Jokic. He is a player that can play top of the key, be a great playmaker as a big man, and also finish at the rim on consistent levels. Being a good mid-range shooter, a good free throw shooter, Nurkic can do it all. And on those pick and roll situations with CJ or Dame, Nurk can finish at the rim consistently to help out those guards. But one thing about Jusuf Nurkic that no one really understands is how he affects the team emotionally. When watching Blazers game, he is usually the one hyping the team up, talking to the players on the bench, talking even if he's on the bench to confidently encourage the team to keep getting better and to keep trying. He is always the first one off the bench to greet the player that just scored that bucket, and also is that guy to back up any beef on the court. It is definitely a tough conversation to say that if Nurkic was healthy last year, they could have been a better competition for the Golden State Warriors in the NBA Conference Western Finals. And I'm telling you right now that when Dame, CJ, and Nurkic are all healthy, this team is a team to beat in the Western Conference. When talking about Hassan Whiteside, guys, I really do feel sorry for Hassan Whiteside, as he previously was the starting center for the Trailblazers during the regular season. When Nurkic was out, he was leading the league in blocks, leading the Portland Trailblazers in rebounds per game, and was very effective when it comes to statistics. Hassan Whiteside is definitely a strong rim protector, but the difference that Nurkic makes compared to Whiteside is definitely different, because Nurkic brings an all-around threat to the starting roster, while Whiteside is more of a defensive threat. The point that I'm trying to make is that if Whiteside can play a similar role to Serge Ibaka on the Raptors and be a primetime focal big man off the bench who can score and play defense, the Trailblazers are going to be a tough cookie in the playoffs if they make it. As of right now, Hassan Whiteside has not complained about his shift to the bench. He has literally taken that pretty well and has been humble about it, and even though he's playing less than 20 minutes a game, he's been pretty consistent, getting those blocks and getting those easy points in the paint. As a Blazer fan, I really hope Whiteside remains with the Blazers and re-signs with them, but I'll be honest guys, it's really unlikely. He'll probably go to another team where he could be the starting center. Carmelo Anthony, on the other hand, has been a big surprise for me. Growing up and watching basketball, Carmelo Anthony on the New York Knicks, he was one of my favorite players. Getting those clutch three-point shots, those clutch mid-range shots, Carmelo Anthony was just fun to watch, and seeing his career go downhill was definitely not exciting for me and definitely made me upset. But the fact that Damian Lillard and the Portland Trailblazers believe in Carmelo to come into the team as a Hall of Famer threat, as a role player, I'm really happy to see that the Portland Trailblazers love Carmelo. And if the Blazers make the playoffs, they're gonna need Carmelo Anthony's veteran leadership to guide them throughout the whole way. But the biggest story to me about the Portland Trailblazers is definitely Gary Trent Jr. Gary Trent Jr. is the Portland Trailblazers rookie that has instantly become a consistent rotational player. Being active on defense, having quick feet, and having the fierceness personality to guard any player on the other team, Gary Trent is literally a valuable asset to why the Trailblazers are winning games now. In the 4 games the Portland Trailblazers have played in the NBA bubble so far, I'm gonna tell you Gary Trent stats. The first game against the Grizzlies, he put up 17 points. The next game against the Celtics, 21 points. The next game against the Houston Rockets, he put up 16 points. And previously against the Denver Nuggets, he put up 27 points. Gary Trent Jr. has given a nickname of Baby Lillard and is definitely a big factor to the Portland Trailblazers' future and is giving them a reason of more depth off the bench. Blazer fans out there, you guys love Gary Trent. He's getting a lot of opportunity right now, and I'll be honest, he is using it to the best of his ability. So now let's talk about the Portland Trailblazers' best case scenario and their future. It is pretty obvious what their best case scenario is for their future, and that's making the playoffs, making the 8th spot because they won't make the 7th seed, and facing the Lakers in the first round, as the Lakers just clinched the 1st seed. There has been a lot of people out there saying that the Portland Trailblazers will be a threat to the Lakers if they make the playoffs. And if the Lakers were to pick a team they would face in the first round, the Trailblazers are the team they do not want to face. And I'm gonna say this, guys, I 100% agree. With the Portland Trailblazers being at full health right now, they're definitely a big threat to any team in the NBA playoffs. They know it, the Lakers know it, that they're not an 8th seed in the Western Conference. They should be a 3rd to 4th seed if fully healthy. So the biggest question regarding this topic is it possible that the Portland Trailblazers can do a first round upset and eliminate the Lakers? And I have the truth and answer to that in my opinion. The answer to that question is no. The Trailblazers cannot beat the Lakers. They might get 1 or 2 games against them and lose in game 6, but I surely believe that the Portland Trailblazers need more wing depth to beat the Lakers to guard LeBron James and even Kyle Kuzma. As of right now, when talking about the Portland Trailblazers roster, their best potential player to guard LeBron is Carmelo Anthony or even Gary Trent, which I believe is even worst case scenario. Losing Trevor Ariza in the NBA bubble was a big factor to why I believe the Portland Trailblazers cannot beat the Lakers in the first round even if they make the playoffs. But if Trevor Ariza was in the mix, it would definitely be a bigger and tougher debate. The Blazers have a strong backcourt and a strong frontcourt, but they just don't have strong enough wings at that small forward and power forward position to guard those fast and athletic players like LeBron, Robert Covington in the NBA playoffs. Stopping LeBron is not just an issue, stopping AD would be an issue. Anthony Davis is one of those players in the NBA that you believe is unstoppable and no one can guard him. The Blazers do have Nurkic and Whiteside that can slow AD down, but it goes back to my point that the Blazers can't stop LeBron and AD at the same time. So when it ultimately comes down to it, if the Blazers make the playoffs and face the Lakers first round, it will be a great series. I will watch every single game, but I still see LeBron taking it and going all the way to the NBA Finals. But this is where you guys come in. Do you believe the Blazers could be a big threat to the Los Angeles Lakers if they make the playoffs in the first round as the 8th seed? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. But the truth about the Portland Trailblazers right now is that they're fully healthy, and if they were fully healthy during the regular season, they would definitely be in a better situation. But other than that, take it easy, God bless, and I'll definitely see you all next time on ezBUCKETz. Woo!
I got angels flying all